Now, I got to tell you something. President Trump has been more focused in the last few weeks, and it really is paying off big time. Not only is he pursuing pro-growth policies, but he's also slashing and trashing all of those Obama-era regulations. And, well, his Heartland growth agenda today, it sparked rail stocks, railroad car-making stocks, oil stocks rebounded big time, and, of course, those construction names moved significantly higher. All of this is getting congressional Republicans, at least in the House, to stop making excuses. In fact, the House today touting 158 bills passed thus far this year, signaling their support for President Trump. I think one of the big questions, though, is how much pressure will this put on Republican senators to get really the big stuff done? Joining me to discuss, Ron Meyer, Eric Beach, and Joe Walsh is back. Ron, let me start with you. You know what? I love the idea that the stock market was so opposite of what we saw in the mainstream media today, and it kind of told us that the infrastructure plan is gaining traction, and there are believers.
Well, we got to hope so. I mean, it means they're watching your show and not the mainstream media, and that's what I think that's what we all hope for, right? And so here's what it comes down to, is that I think Trump is calming down, the foreign trip calmed him down. Hopefully this Comey thing is passed, and he can actually focus. I mean, this is supposed to be infrastructure week. It turned into Russia week. And then hopefully today there was more focus on infrastructure. The House and the Senate need to actually get their act together and pass this agenda. Use the repatriation tax. Bring that investment back to the United States, which will help create jobs, by the way, but will also give us a funding source for this infrastructure. The truth is there are bottlenecks across the country. In a lot of suburban areas, a lot of urban areas, the places where jobs are growing fastest, there are bottlenecks and congestion. If we want to unleash a 21st century economy, you have to be able to get to your job. You have to be able to get to your job efficiently. You know, trains have to work. You have to be able to ship large shipments, especially in the Amazon era. We have to make sure that goods can get where they need to go, and Trump's trying to make that happen.
Eric, you know, when I look at the House and I watch and I listen to members of the House, it feels like they're applying more and more pressure to their Senate colleagues. They're saying, hey, listen, we passed 158 bills. We're doing the heavy lifting. We did work this week on Dodd-Frank. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. I mean, the other thing, as you mentioned, you know, Trump ran against the Obama regulations, but he also ran against regulations from President Bush and President Clinton as well. I mean, he's rolled back more regulations than any president since Reagan, and I think he's really trying to pick up this environment. And look, you know, yes, a lot of the focus has been on him personally, but you have to look at his record. And when he ran against a status quo and a broken system inside of Washington, D.C., you know, he ran against blowing up those boxes and really so that they can, you know, break the chains and really try to move forward. And now Congress is starting to move, and we need the Senate to start to follow. And the way that we do that, as was mentioned, is to really repatriate money, also secure our borders, and do those types of things, and really start to push and promote the tax reform that he's talked about during the campaign.
Joe, it sounds so simple. Why can't we get it done?
Yeah, Charles, it's really an amazing story. Donald Trump's our oldest president, and he's been running circles around these Republican senators and members of the House who are half his age. Look, when I was in the House, we did a lot of stuff, and we sent it over to the Senate, and Harry Reid would never do anything with it. We've got Mitch McConnell and Republicans in the Senate now who are sitting on a lot of the activity right now. This has got to change, and they've got to learn how to keep up with President Trump because, Charles, as you said it, to me, the biggest success of his first 5 months is what he's done cutting government regulations.
He's done amazing. I do want to ask you real quick, Ron.
Yeah.
As President Trump laid out the infrastructure plan, the one item that caught my eye, and I think it's amazing, 1 million apprenticeships. We've got an amazing skills gap in this country. Not one where people need a college education, but they need to be brought up to snuff on how to use modern-day machinery and tools. I love that idea.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. It's a great idea to try to work into infrastructure, trying to get people to use their hands more. I know that there's a heavy demand for that, and that's one of the reasons why I think you're seeing these construction stocks and manufacturing stocks start to pick up. The truth is, too, it's not just apprenticeships, it's also the rollback of regulations. The truth is, it can take a year longer. I actually, in my other job on the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors, we build roads, right? And it would take more than a year for most of the projects I'm working on now. It'd add another year to actually have to follow the current federal regulations. So slashing those regulations means that we can build more roads. When we build more roads, it means more people can can have jobs. And where are construction jobs? You're looking at younger people.
Right.
You're looking at younger people with less education who can then get opportunities and then save up and then maybe afford education and step up in the economy. I mean, this is the American dream, and hopefully we can help enable it by doing good projects.
For every billion spent on infrastructure, I read that's 18,000 jobs, good paying jobs. So let's hope it all goes through. Gentlemen, thank you all very much.